And Nick brought that CD in. And speaking of Nick, he's here. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning to you.
And good morning, Kate.
I'm here too.
Good morning, Kate. Yes.
Oh, it's always the best when you guys are in the studio.
Thank you. Kate and I went out on a date.
We did. We were on a date on the
Last
opposite
night.
side of the aisle, weren't we?
Yes, we did. We finally found out where we were, yes.
Nice.
We went to see Hair.
We did.
And
Long,
I was going
straight,
to
curly,
say-
fuzzy, etc.
All that sort of stuff. No, I was going to suggest there are issues with this production that maybe we should say
Can we
three.
start with the good things?
Yeah.
How about that? You saw one many years ago, didn't you?
I saw the original Melbourne version when I was a bit too young to sneak into the theatre, but I did.
And there are a few of that crowd, that cast in the audience. They shouted out and waved their hands at the beginning.
Did they? Oh, good, yeah.
And I know someone who was a stage manager and someone else who was in the chorus, so in the gang.
So we're still around.
Yeah, we are.
So it's moved on along. The thing about it is,
It hasn't moved on as much as the time.
No, I mean, it's the music is so powerful.
It is.
Just
The
works.
music's
but
memorable.
the storyline is.
There isn't a storyline. That's
no.
kind of the point of it. The tribe is just let's for people who haven't seen it. I've seen a couple of versions, one in 2003 and one some other time, not the original one. It's the tribe of hippies who are living in it's New York, isn't it? Even though
in
it's
the Lower East Side, the poor parts of New York.
Poor parts of New York.
Yeah.
They live in. They don't all live in the same apartment, but Lower East, and some of them are a lot of them from middle class families. They're the old dropouts. Turn on, drop out, whatever.
Tune in, turn out, yeah.
Tune in, turn on, drop out. They obviously look pretty scruffy. They got long hair, although there wasn't nearly enough hair for my purposes.
No, and they all look so scrubbed up and nice.
They did look a bit nice, didn't they? Smiled a lot. But anyway, they were hippies. They were in fabulous flares with crocheted bits on them and patchwork blah blahs, etc., which is really fun to watch because I kept thinking, what was I wearing in the 70s? But it's the first half is the tribe really revealing itself in one by one through the songs. I think, Nick, don't you reckon?
Well, that's
a lot
that's
of them
how it
individually
worked.
sang a song.
Yeah, it worked. I mean, the principle is it was a groundbreaking musical. I mean, the world changed with Hair and with Easy Rider and movies at about the same time, 67, and all of a sudden this was a rock opera, a rock musical, I should say, and it was about a time gone by now, but it was about hippies protesting against the war and corporation things. So I think there was a lost opportunity there, given the fact that they talked to the audience for starters.
They did,
There was a lost opportunity to sort of bring it up to date with where the world is today and how has it changed or not. But there
were references to it or allusions, I suppose, that we drew our own comparisons, I suppose, but I from Glenn Elston, director, says in the program that he was interested in how it relates to what's happening. It's timely, but everything's timely. Other things I watched on screen from National Theatre were timely, and I think the world doesn't change. The more things change, the more they stay the same.
It is, except I had. Look, it was enjoyable. I loved it, and I was singing at the end, standing up and singing
clapping,
and things.
dancing.
Not dancing, just singing. And but it's there was. Look, I just thought the whole thing was really amateurish, and it was. I'm afraid to say that because the cast were all very young. I don't think they'd seen a drug in their life, let alone had sex. And they all just looked like, and they all sang in this very music theatre voice, which was not rock.
Didn't have the rocky thing, did it?
No.
But I think, I'd have to say, for people, the songs are really memorable. There's so many of them. Good Morning Starshine, Hair, Aquarius, Looking for Donna, I Met a Boy Called Frank Mills. It goes on and on and on and on.
The classics, yes.
Classic. And the band were fabulous
They were
under
very
Paul
good,
Norton. They were really good, up the back, tucked
But
away.
they were squeezed in on that stage.
They were a bit squeezed
and
up
they
the
looked
back in the
very
dark.
nervous too.
Who, the band?
No,
the kids.
the cast.
It's not a very big stage, really. It
And they were
they were
tripping over themselves.
There's probably about 20 of them. Isn't
Yeah,
there?
and I thought that could have been shorter overall. There was too much book, if you like, whatever that was. Yeah.
And I think it's a very, very long. I suppose there is a loose narrative that is fulfilled by the end, and it's not really dealt with properly at the beginning in the book of this, not this production, in the actual piece. If it had been made now, it probably would be going through several rewrites, I suspect. But the story, I don't think this is a spoiler because it's written all over every program. It's about draft quote, draft dodgers
yeah.
or burn the draft card. Or
which is already a very dated concept.
Yeah,
so
but
stuff.
there's one young man who feels compelled to do it but pressured by the tribe not to, so they assume he's not going to enlist or go to his draft call up and go. And, of course, he comes back in a body bag at the end.
Yeah, but that was so perfunctory.
It did.
Even the nude scene at the end of the first act. Oh, I was giving it away.
Well, they all know Hare's got a nude scene.
Yeah,
don't
but
they?
they're all just standing there thinking, they looked like they're standing there thinking, why am I doing this?
Oh, you know what I thought? I'll just change the subject from, well, we're in the nude scene, but they've got a parachute that they're flapping around and they all poke their heads through it at the end and then pop up naked. But I looked at that parachute and thought, I remember really wanting to hang a parachute from my ceiling in my bedroom.
And you just spring out nude. Parachutes were all the rage. So that was Hare. Look, I would go and see it, especially if you're a young person, because it's very joyous.
It is. And I think if you've never seen Hare and don't know anything about it, go and see it because it really is fun and the music's great. And they're so committed to it. They're really, really selling it.
I think maybe it'll settle in. The sound production, there was terrible problems with the sound.
There's a few mic problems, weren't there?
They didn't, the balance of the vocal choral sections was too bass heavy. So they need to fix it up a lot. You've been seeing something relevant in terms of old that's still relevant in the Crucible.
Yes, look, I love Arthur Miller, writer, and I love the Crucible, and it's done a lot by schools or amateur companies, etc., and occasionally by major companies. But this is a really gripping and intelligent and
this is
unsettling
on National
play.
Theatre online,
National Theatre at home. So you can watch it anytime. You can just rent the one show, the one piece of theatre if you want.
So for a good night in,
Yeah, you don't have to get a subscription for the whole month or the whole year. I've got a subscription that's ongoing because it's just become fantastic. It's the Salem Witch Trials, if you don't know it, but it is a really wonderful production. Directed by, now let me see, Lindsay Turner, I think is right, but it's got a Sydney actor, Brendan Cowell, who's a writer, director, etc., playing John Proctor. He's wonderful. He's done a lot of stuff in the UK the last 10 years or so. So all these young women, led by Abigail, accuse women in this town, Salem, the witch trials that really happened, and then start accusing the men as well. But it's all fakery, we know that, but these people are all put to death. It's scary.
This is we're living in times where the same things are happening. Fake news,
lies perpetuated, people pretending, believing the pretense, people believing in conspiracy theories.
And this is written in the 50s during the McCarthy.
It's about
as a response to the McCarthyism.
It's an allegory for the McCarthyism. So chasing political ghosts. But there are some very tender, beautiful portraits and some comic things and an incredible British cast.
So if to get on to National Theatre online, what we do?
Just search National Theatre at home.
Yep.
And if you want to go to the Crucible, you can go and look at their library and go, I just want to rent this one. It'll allow you to just rent one movie. I think it's for a couple of days or something like that.
And I think it's only about $18 a month.
Yeah, it is. It's not particularly expensive. Yeah. So, and I've seen more, but I won't talk about that.
No, thank you, Kate.
Pleasure.
Thanks always, Kate. So we've got